Almost 3 years after his tragic death in a shooting in Atlanta, Davon Daquan Bennett, better known as King Von, remains one of the most talked about figures in hip-hop. Even after his passing, his music continued to chart into 2023, keeping his name alive in the rap scene. But it wasn't just his music that kept people talking. As details of his private life surfaced, Von became linked to multiple homicides and alleged crimes tied to Chicago's gang culture. These revelations earned him a reputation that went far beyond rap, some even labeling him a serial killer. So why exactly were rappers afraid of King Von? His affiliations. The first reason King Von was feared was the people he surrounded himself with. There's a saying, "You are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with." Von's circle included some of the most dangerous individuals in Chicago's gang landscape. Some were well-known rappers, others became infamous only after their deaths. Among his closest affiliates were Lil Durk and T-Roy, and of all Von's associates, none was more feared than his best friend James Johnson, better known as T-Roy. Standing around 5 feet 1 inch, T-Roy was a shooter for the Black Disciples O-Block faction. While he wasn't widely known during his lifetime, stories about him exploded after his death, fueled by lyrics and interviews from those who knew him. According to street lore, T-Roy was responsible for multiple shootings and murders during Chicago's gang wars. He became so notorious that it was rumored he served as Chief Keef's shooter, a rumor Chief Keef himself subtly fueled through lyrics. In No Reason, Chief Keef raps, "T-Roy grab my strap, he gon' blast for no reason." In Savage, he adds, "T-Roy, he got the semi, he'll send you to heaven." Other rappers echoed this reputation. Boss Top described T-Roy as a fearless enforcer, calling him a savage in the streets.
Just different, you know what I'm saying? He was a real enforcer. Shorty is a savage on all him. Another motherfucker that was fearless.
Rapper T. Capone said T-Roy lived solely for drill culture. Wake up, eat, sleep, and hunt his enemies.
Troy is one of those, like, he one of them type of, he wake up, eat, sleep, shit, this drill.
According to Capone, if you were an op, you had every reason to be terrified of him.
T-Roy, you ain't gotta be scared of him if you one of the guys, you know what I'm saying? But if you on that other side, you should be terrified of him. Like terrified of him, and for good reason.
How T-Roy became feared. Several theories attempt to explain how T-Roy became so ruthless. One suggests he was constantly picked on for his short stature while growing up. According to T. Capone, he may have grown tired of being underestimated and turned to violence to command respect. He made sure he carried the biggest gun on the block to prove he wasn't someone to be played with. Another more powerful explanation came from former O-Block member J Hood, who revealed that T-Roy was deeply traumatized after witnessing the murder of his close friend and neighborhood hero, O.D. Perry. On August 10, 2011, O.D. Perry, also known as Odie, was shot and killed near the 6400 block of South Martin Luther King Drive. Witnesses reported seeing a man with dreadlocks approach Perry and fire multiple shots before fleeing with an accomplice. Perry was left bleeding in the street. T-Roy was there. According to J Hood, OD's last words to him were, "They got me, bro."
Roy was right there with him his last little moments, and T-Roy, and then T-Roy said that, was like, "Damn, they got me, bro." Like, that was his last word.
O.D. Perry was beloved in Parkway Gardens. His death shook the entire neighborhood so deeply that the area was renamed O-Block in his honor. His funeral was packed, and his loss marked one of the first major deaths inflicted by rival gangs.
Overly loved. His funeral was packed.
For T-Roy, something snapped. Before OD's death, T-Roy wasn't heavily involved in active violence.
He was one of the first deaths that was from the ops.
According to J Hood, he and his friends carried guns mainly due to peer pressure, not with intent to kill. But after OD's murder, T-Roy became determined to avenge him at all costs. His reign of terror began.
T-Roy, all us, man, we used to be in cahoots. They used to have guns, but we just used to have it so that the big guys wouldn't call us pussy. It's just like when you grew up in the hood and it's like, you ain't getting no pussy, you ain't no nothing, you a lame, you a goofy, so niggas finna do what? We finna try to fucking do all this. We might not even want it, but like we finna try to open ourselves up to it so niggas can't talk about us.
The murders linked to T-Roy. T-Roy grew increasingly bold, even taunting enemies on social media, openly threatening to kill his ops anywhere, anytime. On January 8, 2013, T-Roy and 3 others, including King Von, drove through enemy territory in a Chevrolet Impala, looking for a target. They spotted Marilyn Monroe, known as Lil Doc, who had just finished painting a building owned by his aunt. As Lil Doc went to buy a drink, T. Roy jumped out and opened fire. Lil Doc was struck, ran, collapsed in weeds, and died unnoticed until hours later. Lil Doc had just been released from prison 2 months earlier and was trying to turn his life around. His death shocked many. Another victim was Boss Trell, who had previously killed one of T. Roy's friends. Boss Trell knew his life was in danger and planned to leave Chicago. He even tweeted about starting fresh, but that tweet alerted his enemies. Rumor has it a woman lured Boss Trell to a meeting. When he arrived alone, a car pulled up, gunfire erupted, and he was shot in the back of the head. He was found dead just days before he was supposed to leave the city. Ironically, T. Roy would die the same way he lived, by gun violence. On Valentine's Day 2017, rival gang members TB and Can't Get Right followed him into a store and shot him. He later died at the hospital. His death devastated those close to him, including King Von, who reportedly cried when he learned the news while in prison. King Von and O-Block. King Von was also feared because of O-Block itself, a notoriously violent faction of the Black Disciples. After finding success in music, Von financially supported O-Block members, buying them custom chains and treating them like family. His former manager revealed that Von trusted O-Block members with his life more than professional security. O-Block's loyalty to Von was absolute. Several members now face life sentences due to crimes allegedly committed on his behalf. Von's death further intensified tensions, especially with Quando Rondo, who many blamed for indirectly causing it. After Quando publicly disrespected Von, members of his circle began facing violent retaliation. In November 2022, Quando's entourage was ambushed at a gas station. Quando survived, but his close friend Lul Pab was killed. Though no one claimed responsibility, many believed it was retaliation for Von's death. Beyond his affiliations, King Von himself was feared for his personal involvement in violence. Friends, federal investigators, and leaked documents painted a picture of a man deeply entrenched in street life. Videos surfaced showing Von fighting inmates in jail, one even showing him slipping out of handcuffs to attack a rival. Prison guards were stunned by how he managed to free himself. Von was also fearless outside jail. His final confrontation with Quando Rondo was caught on camera. On November 6, 2020, after leaving an album release party in Atlanta, Von spotted Quando sleeping in a car. Without hesitation, Von rushed him and began fighting. Quando's associate Lil Tim then opened fire, fatally shooting Von. Confirmed murders linked to King Von. Authorities later tied King Von to several shootings, including the murder of 17-year-old K.Y. Kakira Barnes. K.I. was a feared gangster disciple member who openly mocked the death of O.D. Perry. She taunted O-Block online and allegedly killed multiple rivals. On April 11, 2014, she was shot 9 times and later died. Von was arrested but released due to lack of evidence. Years later, police documents revealed that Von had confessed to the killing. A witness claimed Von admitted shooting 3 people that day and that K.I. was the one who died. Another major case was the murder of FBG Duck in 2020. 5 O-Block members were arrested, and federal informants revealed a $100,000 bounty had been placed on Duck's head. Evidence suggested King Von may have funded the hit and rewarded the killers with custom chains. Finally, in 2019, Von was involved in the shooting and robbery of Alexander Weatherspoon in Atlanta. Though Lil Durk was initially charged, prosecutors later confirmed that Von was the shooter and would have been indicted had he lived. King Von was feared not just because of who he was, but because of what he represented. He was surrounded by killers, backed by one of Chicago's most dangerous gangs, and personally involved in extreme violence. Whether through guns, fists, or influence, Von lived by the code of the streets and ultimately died by it. His story is a chilling reminder of how deeply gang culture and trauma can shape a life, and why, to this day, King Von's name still commands fear and respect. Let me know what you think. Was King Von misunderstood, or exactly who people feared he was? Like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop stories that go beyond the headlines.